Since September 17th, when Union 35 issued a complaint against Yale's administration, picketing intentions have struck our campus. We take a look back at Yale's labor relations. Where did it all start?
Plus, learn how some Yale scientists may have just developed the strongest metal since the Bronze Age.
Stay tuned for these stories and more. It's your Yale, your week, and your news.
Hello and welcome to YTV. I'm Madison Allworth. To start, we'll go to Raleigh Cavero in the newsroom for this week's headlines.
Thanks, Madison. On Wednesday, the university announced that Yale's endowment rose over $3 million in fiscal year 2014. This gain brings the endowment to a record high of $23.9 billion. The surge comes from this year's 20.2% return on Yale's assets, and this is the first time that Yale's endowment has reached pre-recession levels. Back then, it topped out at $22.9 billion. And Yale and US had planned to screen the banned film To Singapore with Love. But now the university is no longer showing the film because the filmmaker, Tan Pin Pin, didn't give them permission. But last week, Yale and US President Pericles Lewis said that he had asked permission from Singapore's media regulator to show that film. Some Yale faculty argue that this situation speaks to serious problems with free expression at Yale and US. This summer, students found their news feeds filled with comments about William Dershowitz. They've been upset about the centralization of some services to a culinary support center this year. But how far back do these tensions really go? Lily Rivkin takes us on a flashback, all the way back to the 1960s.
In March of 1968, the AFL-CIO Local 35 union started picketing. They had just negotiated a contract with Yale bumping up wages, shortening the work week, and amping up health benefits. But these dining and maintenance employees wanted higher pensions and an even bigger rise in wages. Ultimately, a new and revised contract ended the strike. But the unions were left feeling sour, and several employees reported feeling, quote, sold down the river. 2 decades later, in 1983, a second large-scale protest happened. This time, the ordeal lasted 10 weeks, and Local 35 banded together with the policemen's union to protest. Finally, in 2003, tensions heightened yet again when Yale was slammed with its third major labor strike since 1968. 2,000 union members, students, and New Haven residents protested outside Woolsey Hall. They said Yale made inadequate offers on wages and pensions. Levin saw this 2003 protest as a catalyst to renew his focus on union management. In that same year, Yale's Best Practices program began. The Best Practices program created a dining hall joint department committee. That means union leaders and administrators got together to solve issues like scheduling, decreasing the use of temp hires, and giving workers safety shoes. But despite these safety and collaboration efforts since 2003, the relations between Yale and its unions remains a delicate one. In the face of these challenges, the unions are continuing to make their voice heard. Today, in front of Sterling Memorial Library, Local 34 and 35 gathered to show solidarity and celebrate the 30th anniversary of Local 34's first strike. For YTV, this has been Lily Rivkin.
Thanks, Lily. Local 34 and 35 are the two unions that Yale recognizes and works with very closely.
Local 34 represents 3,400 clerical and technical workers, while Local 35 represents 1,200 service and maintenance employees.
And the iPhone 6 was just released, and that means a whole new set of phone accessories are hitting the shelves.
The newest, most durable iPhone cases might be coming from Yale. Reporters Anamika Veramani and Martha Langley bring us more.
Yale's Becton Center, central hub of the School of Applied Science and Engineering, is now home to the bulk metallic glass, a metal that is 3 times as hard as steel, but just as easy to mold as plastic. This new process of creating flexible, durable metals was created by Yale's own Professor Jan Schroer.
They are called bimetallic glasses, right? They are amorphous, and so the research community has over the last 20 years managed to make them thicker and thicker and thicker.
Dating back to the Bronze Age, the most effective method of molding metals has been heating them at very high temperatures. However, Dr. Schroers believed that the opposite, that is, cooling the metals at very low temperatures, might produce stronger material.
Our contribution to this of my lab has been that we developed methods to actually shape them.
After a decade of research, the Schroers lab at Yale School of Applied Science and Engineering has developed the first bulk metallic glass, or BMG. The scientists' first effort has been to make more durable iPhone cases.
If you have a metallic glass phone case, you will not be worried about the scratch of your key, by the keys, because right now the metallic glass case is the hardest material in your pocket.
Postgraduate researcher Rodrigo Miguel Ojeda Moda had the idea of forming the metal into a phone case to stir up some buzz and create public interest around the invention. But moving forward, Schroers hints at much larger uses for the material.
Cell phones, electronic casings, right? So if you big cell phones are just marginally smaller than small laptops, right? So the next thing would be laptops. Get into the aerospace industry.
For YTV, this was Anamika Viramani and Martha Longley.
The researchers' next step is to create larger sheets of bulk metallic glass to be used in industrial design and technology hardware.
Many seniors have started working on job applications, but a few of those might be working on a business school app, too.
The School of Management's unique Silver Scholars Program gets up to 200 applicants every single year, and all of those are from college seniors.
Sophia John and Edwin Adem bring you a closer look at the program and why some students decide to go straight into business school.
It's a commonly held belief that people need business experience before entering an MBA program. But the Yale School of Management defies that convention with its 3-year Silver Scholars Program.
A 3-year program, it's 1 year of our core, a 1-year internship, and then come back for the 3rd year for the 2nd year of our curriculum, which is the really elective year.
The internship is in the middle of the 2 years of formal education.
I would say half of the student would take a year out and half would take like 2 years out. And then we will come back and then finish our 2nd year.
Since a small portion of SOM students are Silver Scholars, they have access to individual attention while preparing for the internship.
And really work with the Silver Scholars directly to identify what industry they want.
While some students seek this unique educational opportunity, it's still not the only route to business school.
I think appreciation of education is important, and by therefore taking a break in between it, I can really refocus on why I went to school in the first place.
But for some, it was absolutely the right choice.
It's like it changed my life.
Reporting from Yale Daily News, this has been Sophia John and Edwin Adem.
The Silver Scholars Program was started in 2001, and the next round of applications for fall 2015 are due January 8th.
With the fall sports season well underway, many of Yale's teams have settled into a rhythm, both on and off the field.
One crucial part of that rhythm for every team, warm-up music. We go to Annalise Morello and Wayne Zhang for more.
Nicki Minaj, Shakira,
Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones,
Beyonce.
With 35 varsity teams and countless club teams at Yale, a wide variety of music tastes are represented among athletes on campus. On each team's warm-up tape, different tastes come together to form one cohesive experience meant to pump up Yale's athletes and get them ready to play.
Each athlete has their own type of level they have to be at.
Just kind of get in the zone. I like to just kind of focus, and it's kind of a way to block out everything else that's going around me. Upbeat music, either techno or hip hop, just kind of to get my energy going.
While most warm-up tapes get changed from year to year, some songs become mainstays in a team's pregame routine.
The WAP is like our favorite one. It's been on there for 3 years. It's almost become this tradition, and it makes everyone really happy.
Most Bulldogs hope that the music makes their fans happy too. While preparing for competition is the main goal, teams also look forward to the opportunity to share the musical experience with the crowd.
Absolutely. You definitely prepare the fans for what's about to happen. And if we set the tone with the energy, then they're going to follow.
So the next time you have plans to cheer on the Bulldogs, you might want to stop by a couple minutes early and warm up with the team. For YTV, this has been Wayne Zhang and Annalise Morello. Back to you.
Thanks, Annalise. You know, last night in the studio, we decided that if all the warm-up tapes were just Taylor Swift, we might go to a few more football games.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So what does a veteran CIA officer think of Edward Snowden and the NSA? This week, Cody Pomerantz found out when he sat down with the former CIA Director of Operations, Jack Devine. Here are a few highlights from this week's Everybody Has a Story.
A lot of today's stories with relation to these agencies is about leakers. WikiLeaks, Edward Snowden, Bradley Manning. What do you think of these people and their role in intelligence? And was there ever a point in your career where you felt compelled to come forward and say something about something you felt to be immoral?
Well, I think there's a couple points I'd make. One, when you join CIA, when you join NSA, you sign the secrecy agreement. The only way you can have a national security apparatus is with secrecies and agreements for people to contain the secrets. But there also has to be an outlet for when there's wrongdoing. And that's why they set up, have a general counsel, they have an inspector general. And in the case of the intelligence world, you even have access to the Congress. What I found interesting in the Snowden case is that he didn't pursue any of that. But people don't understand that NSA, CIA, FBI, no one can read your mail, whether it's electronic or personal, unless you fit into 5 categories. Are you a terrorist? Are you a trafficker, narcotics trafficker, organized crime, proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, or a counterintelligence source, a spy? If you don't fit that category, no one's going to be able to look.
Or maybe a U.S. Senator, Phil, based on recent news that the CIA was hacking into Senate intelligence computers.
I don't understand that one, and I'm waiting to see how that plays out. But in the 32 years that I was there, and I believe today, and everything I read, it's adhered to rigorously.
Jack Devine, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Great pleasure.
And thank you for joining us, and special thanks to the Yale Politic for bringing Mr. Devine to campus. As always, I'm Cody Pomerantz for YTV. This has been Everybody Has a Story. See you next time.
Thanks, Cody.
And finally, we'll bring you a new edition of our Weekend Take 2 segment. This week, we show you inside some of the best cribs on campus. Caitlin Kiker, Harrison Tracy, and Leah Motzkin take you on a tour.
When you walk into a suite, you probably see a common room, a futon, and some boring dorm beds. Well, YTV is about to take you on a tour of the suites that won the genetic lottery. The most stunning multi-floor rooms on campus. Here's 2 of Yale's coolest cribs.
Welcome, YTV Cribs! Teresa is one of the 10 lucky freshmen living in the famed Princess Suite in Welch. She took us up 4 long flights of stairs to see Suite C41. Okay, we're here!
Ready.
Equipped with a spacious common room, and an antique fireplace, and built-in bookshelves, the Princess Suite is usually buzzing with jealous visitors. And did we mention it has 2 floors? Across campus in JE, we found another hidden gem in entryway B. Larry Milstein, a sophomore turned interior designer, gave us a tour of his modern take on an early 20th century Yale dorm.
Hey YTV, welcome to my suite/crib. First things first, gotta set the mood. Have a record player here that I got as a birthday present, so thought like Vampire Weekend's like collegiate. Over here we have a couple like vintage Yale inspired photos that I've gotten from, I don't know, like I guess like antique markets, but mostly art.com, so I'll be real with you. Little mini fridge action. I feel like that's like a classic part of the MTV Cribs experience. So got some faye, you know.
Thanks for checking in. For YTV, this has been Caitlin Kiker, Leah Motzkin, and Harrison Tracy.
Thanks, guys.
That's it for us tonight. And actually, it's going to be it for us for a long time.
This show will be our last as anchors and as YTV producers.
We're seniors now, so that means it's time to hand over the reins to a new set of producers and anchors.
We're excited to announce that Stefina Yuli and Michael Leopold will be our next YTV anchors, and Isabel McCullough will be the 3rd YTV producer.
Thank you for tuning in for the past 2 years. It's been an honor for us to bring you the news every single week.
Make sure to tune in on Sunday for our final appearance on the Yale Daily Minute.
Thanks for watching. It's your Yale, your week, and your news.